Okay, so I'm going to be starting up a new profile to show you how you get the CMS 2018 promo code to work on your normal mode, and things will be better for the game. So, go to profiles, start a new profile, and you put the profile name as case sensitive, and okay, so that's a new one. And then you go down to, oh, I guess you gotta save it. Sorry. But yeah, you save it. So there you go. There's the new promo, the new save file. You select it, and then you go back. Oops, wrong button, not credits. But you start new game, regular, no tutorial. New game. Normal mode without tutorial. And there you go. And when you start up, you'll have $500,000 in your bank and access to expand your garage completely fully open to 3-car garage with all tools and repair bench and testing equipment. And I will show you guys that when we load in and go from there. I've already previously started a game, as you see. I just started off from scratch, but I'm doing half bad, not now. Got about 600,000 in the bank after buying 3 or 4 cars, 5 cars, rip them down, completely rebuilding them, and bring them back up to showroom. Made quite a bit of money doing that, so. And I've lost that game. I was upwards over $1 million. So, as you can see, it looks like the tutorial. 4,000, and why didn't it work? And that sucks. So, I messed up on that one. It looks like there's a little bit of a tutorial here. Maybe not. I don't understand why it's not working. Oh, that's why it's spelled wrong. It's with a capital, and that's why. So correct that. There we go. So it should work this time. Okay, yeah, there it worked. There you go. And then, well, you go into your toolbox, and you just select everything. And then you start off with 500,000, and you could actually start restoring cars instead of having to repair everybody's, which I find is a little bit boring. Building up your bank account, doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. So here it is. Now we got a full shop, and you can actually customize it to your liking. So you just have to go over to, where is it? Right here. Change your floor. You got quite a bit of options for customization on your shop. I didn't mind it, so I have a lot of different options. And floor A and floor B is just like in your work area. Change cameras, right? So, until you find it. There it is. It's the floor grates. So that's that one. And then you got drain grates, you got different types. And you got the walls, you can change the color on the walls. Back there, as you see in the center. And you can change all the walls, really. And change your gates, you know. So many different options. But you go to that and you can change that. You can change your lifts, everything. It's pretty cool. I really enjoyed the type of customizations you could have had to it. And you could actually build engines from scratch and just go do that and come through your engine list. I find it a little easier sometimes because, well, it's quick, easy, you don't have to rip the engine out of the car before you start rebuilding it, which is a good thing. So I will go buy a car and show you what's up. I think I'm gonna go to the junkyard. As you can see, it cost me $250, but that changes with different locations that you go on to. Yeah, you could change the floor, you could change the color of the lifts, the walls, your office, a whole bunch of things in this game. Completely customize it to the way you like it. Didn't mind it. Kind of went through it a little bit and didn't get too far into it. Just changed the color of the lifts and what have you. But I'll just go buy a quick car and show you how to rip out an engine. You basically got to rip out your driveline, your transmission, and then after that you could go up back to the engine and pull your engine out. I don't want to waste my money on buying a piece of crap car, so I'll go find a better one. Typically they only have 3 in these in the junkyard. Usually when you start the game, well, you use slim pickings, but this one seems to be a really decent one. The Bolt Reptila R2s. Very quick, easy builds. Buy them for about 20 grand, sell them for about 130 if you do it right. And I find keeping everything original to the car actually makes you a lot of money. Just still looking for a car. The Reptile is nice. Might as well just go buy that. And yes, you could go into your junk piles and stuff, find maps and stuff also. Yeah, this is just the single carb. It will bring in just under 90,000 if you change your engine into it, supercharger and all that sort of stuff. So I personally will go get the R2 because it's the same car, same body parts as the one that I just looked at, but this one fetches more money because it has the quad cam engine in it. So I'll just quickly buy that. And you get to choose where you want to go park it in your garage or your car park. I find the car park, well, you have to buy them to expand them, which is fine, granted, but it's $250,000 per. And yes, you could get parts out of other stuff. You could repair those parts if you like. Doesn't really cost as much as a new part. And Steve, if that helped, it should work out just great for you now. Just make sure it's all lowercase lettering for it to work. And yeah, it should start you off exactly where I am. I find it's a little bit better of a start with everything so you could repair it instead of buying it personally, and considering, you know, So here, what I do here from this point is I just lift it up. Grab the welder. Stick that over there and fix that up. So as you can see, it's pretty rusted out. You don't know what color it is, even though it tells you exactly what color, what car that it is. And yeah, as you can see what needs to be repaired. And what you can see, it's pretty messed up. That's why it's so cheap. It cost me 20 grand to buy, and like I said, I'll sell this for approximately 130,000. So you basically spend anywhere from 30 to 60,000 depending on how you rebuild it. So it's all up to you how you want to spend your money and build the way you want to build. But as I was saying, you could repair most of the parts off of the car. I'll show you that here in a minute after I got this somewhat stripped out, which it already is. So you just come over to this bench here, you click on it, and as you can see, you could repair parts. You just continue, and it'll tell you how far you got and if you've repaired the part or not. If you like that one was a garbage, so I had to replace that fender. As you can see up in your library, these are all barns that you could go rummage through for cars, whatever you think you want to buy there. Sometimes there's 1 car, 2 car, 3 car. I found 4 cars in one barn, but that's not too bad. So yeah, as you can see, I couldn't replace the headlights or repair the headlights or the front fender, so I'll just sell those. And typically I like to put these in the warehouse, which is right here. So you just go in here, just put all of them in here, and use them when you're gonna pull them out when you're gonna use them. Saves the clutter on the map, and you got 9 different warehouses you could choose from. So all the better, you know. You could store parts, whole cars, even, you know, minus the chassis. But I really enjoy this game. It's fun to relaxing. I'm a mechanic, so just adds another element to it. My gaming, considering I can't do this stuff anymore physically. And yes, to change your floors and stuff, you go back to that right here. And as from what I could understand, you don't really have to pay for your floor modifications. I don't know, to be honest with you, so. No, apparently no cost on your modifications. Yeah, you can change your grates, change your lift colors, you can change your off-face colors, your wall colors. There's also a spot up there, which you can't really use anything up, it's just a chill spot, but fill graphics, I guess, fill the room up. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward. You know pretty much the rest, eh? And you'll get used to the buttons. Like, you could be sitting in the part there and pull things off and like jump into your tablet, right? Your typical ABS. Your ABS has to come off, and well, as you can see, all the rust on it needs to be repaired. You could repair it if you like, or you could repair it or replace it by holding square. Brings you into your main menus for all your body parts, performance, tires, rims, you name it. Speaking of which, might as well go into the body spot. You could search. See, as you can see, I just put in R2, which is for the car itself, and that's just that car. So it will be the Reptilla and the R2 also take off of this list. And it looks like it needs the whole shebang. So I'll just get one of everything. And there you go. Back out. Strip the car. Come in. Put your panels on. And you can leave your wheels on it. And then from that point, if you leave your wheels on it, you can actually move it into the paint shop from this point after you're getting your panels on. And you could go right in and take out your interior. And remember, license plates. License plates add value to the car. I don't understand why, but they do. I've noticed that it adds like anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 to your car after you add the license plates. You can't really put the used ones on there. For one, it sucks. You can't repair the license plates. So I just throw them out, sell them, and yeah. And so there you go. So if I had the wheels on here, actually I'll put them back on and show you. Put the wheels back on, and you could actually separate the tires from the rims and repair your rims. Not all of them are repairable. It seems like these ones are too far gone to be repairable, but it's always worth a try to save yourself a little bit of money. Seems a little glitchy because I'm streaming it here, so. Oh yeah, okay, so the wheels are back on. Let's take it to the paint booth. So, it's just simple as moving your paint shop. Then it goes to your paint booth, which is right back here. Now it's pretty basic. I thought it would be a little bit more detailed than what it is, but Salvies, do what you gotta do, right? Pretty minor. You can change your colors, your shades, your shimmer, everything. It's pretty detailed. Do any color you really want. You could pearl, metallic, chameleon, whatever suits your fancy. You could also put some liveries on it. Pretty basic, not really detailed. Some of them are fun depending on the car. But you could also go set factory, which I'm going to. Maybe put a decent livery on it. Let's go with that. There. So it's all painted, ready to go back to the lift, and we could start working on it if you like, and or go buy another car. Show you the auction, how that works. I find the auctions are kind of a rip-off. You get the newer cars, but, you know, you're always paying basically equal to the value of the car. It's not really that beneficial unless it's a car that's going to make you a lot of money. And there's a number on here that make a good chunk of change. The Salem LX550. Believe it or not, you could find it at the junkyard. You could pay very little for it, upwards of 15-20,000 for the car. Rip it down, and if you got the quad cam engine in it, you could push out 1400 horsepower out of it. The Ecos Cobra, actually, I like this car. It's kind of like the games ripoff of the Viper. Pretty decent car. And as you can see, the value is up on the top right, and more than likely we'll get up to that, probably about 170, 180 for this one. See, 172. See, so auctions I find are kind of stupid. Yes, you get the nicer newer cars, but there again, most times the body's good and mechanical's crap. Typically transmissions, engines, heads, and suspension. Those are typical repairs you get off of it. Oh, they have one of the cars that I was just talking about. Second from the end, I will definitely get that one. And the R2 that I just got actually has the same engine as the one that I'm looking at, the CO LX550. So we'll go down to that car and pick it up. But with these three cars, it's going to take me down quite a bit of money, so I'll probably have to build one of the cheaper ones, sell it to build the other one. Takes so long sometimes. And as you can see, you got your flavors of cars. You got everything from 3 cylinders all the way up to 12 if you get the proper DLC. The proper DLC for the V12 is the Maserati. The Chieftain TBX 2C is a good car. Makes a little bit of money, but there again, they're typically pretty beat up and you have to put a lot of money into them. And it's actually a trophy requirement to build one of those cars. And yes, at first it'll take you probably about, I don't know, an hour or two to build a car. So I've busted down to maybe an hour to build complete, right from stripped. That's rebuilding engines, new suspension, body, interior, you name it, all goes in. So it looks like I will be getting probably about $65,000 payment on this one, and I'll sell that for double after repairs and rebuild. And you actually get bonuses on your rebuilds, which is really nice. I'm still kind of trying to figure out the auction here, because honestly it doesn't work out the way it should in an auction. This is pretty directed and specific to what you're going to pay for the vehicle. As you can see, started out as $20,000 car, now it's going right up to value of car, which is completely retarded in my books. You should be able to go to the auction and get a deal on some of these cars. You shouldn't be boosted up to max price of it. Wasn't too happy about that going through it. Spent a lot of money at the auctions, but hey, you do what you gotta do to learn, right? Nah. It's a fun car to build, but cheap. I'm not even gonna bother with that truck. It's nice to build, don't get me wrong. If you're just starting out, that's probably one of the better ones to buy and build up. Limited parts, not too many there. And, well, they give a good return. Nothing meager like the 2 cars that I just bought at the auction. These 2 cars will probably bring me in quite a bit of money. I know the LX550, I've gotten it up to about 160,000 after bonus, so it goes up there pretty high. And the other one I built and kept, so I didn't really sell it, but I've gotten that one up pretty high in value also. So yeah, you could come in here and do this, if you will. Go into your diagnostics to see exactly what's wrong with this car. You could sit here, do all these 3 or 4 options to check out what's wrong with the outside of the engine, and then you go back into it and do another one. As you can tell, you got compression testers, so that's your internal. Those are your rings, your pistons, your bearings, your crank, and also your top end, your internal heads. As you can see, it's about, I bet it is. Some of the horsepower is fun. I've lost a lot of things. I've had quite a number of games up. And, oh, this one looks like it's in bad shape. I've built a lot of cars in the game, made a lot of money on other saved files. But, you know, start back at 0 because my hard drive died in my PlayStation, and I'm replacing that tomorrow. Let's move this on to 2. And put this one on 3, because, well, I'm just gonna rip these all apart, rebuild them, because I can. And we'll see how far she goes. I know this one, you could get just under 1,500 horsepower in this car, because of this engine. This is the V6, so I messed up on that one. You get the V8 one, and wow, the V8 one goes pretty nice. You can't put any swap engines in this one. Don't think you can in this one. Oh yeah, we could put the Coyote and the AXX. That's actually what engine I thought was in the LX550, because this engine in the LX550, 1,400 horsepower, easy. It's phenomenal. And same with this one, this engine, the AXX, in that car and this car, both about the same 1,400 horsepower. It's really nice. And it all depends on what parts you put in it too, because you could put like replacements, factory replacement, or you could just strip it right out and be done with it. And put all new performance pistons, cams, exhaust, intake, you name it. You could get pretty detailed with it. And as I said before, you have to pull your engine, or to pull your engine, you have to pull your transmission, drive shaft, starter, and after that you could rip it right apart. I tend to get the engine out quick, because that sometimes can take a little bit of time to rebuild if you don't know where the parts are or how you could search it. You could actually take engines out of one car and put them in another car if that car is accepted to that upgraded engine. So you could take it right from the car onto the bench, essentially. And there you go. Let's start ripping her apart. I tend to flip it, easier to access it. Looks like not much is here. Wow, empty. One cam, one head. Seems like half of the pistons. Wow, somebody really raped this thing out. Well, it's gonna be brand new. You could recondition the block if you choose, or you could buy a new block, depending on you. It's up to you. No piston there. There's a piston. There's a piston. There we go. A few more. There. Oh, I got the rear end to take off. Clutch plate, throat, pressure, and flywheel. Those all have to come off before you can get the crank out. And you could actually just pull it off the bench or the stand, come over here, and repair everything. Fixed. And fixed. So, doing this, you're saving money on these major parts, which is good. Especially starting out at the beginning of the game. And to put it back on the stand, you just click on it, add parts, and there you go. But that block was shot. So, we'll go in and buy another one. And you can only get blocks from here. And let's see if I could be a little specific to see if it pops up. Oh, perfect. Okay, so in this one, you got a few different blocks that you can for the V8. The HOVs, the Ks, superchargers, the Gs, and then you got the Hemi for the shaker, and double cam, triple cam, and single cam. So you got your options on that depending on which you want to build for any car. There you go. Now, you could also sell the parts. You could go up here. As you can see, everything that I pulled out of that engine, besides one cam and the crank, are garbage. Can't do anything with it. You could just sell it. And you could do that by pushing triangle. Put it up to whatever percentage you want to, considering. There, it just sells that. And then, considering that I'm not going to put that cam in, I'll just put this the crankshaft back in. And, yeah. Can't really put an upgraded performance crank, but you could do the pistons. Can't do the rings. You could do the heads upgraded, intake upgraded. Yeah, it gets pretty detailed, so let's get started. Hitting the wrong buttons again. Okay. Well, let's go to search. Or I could just show you this way. Oh, I'm doing engine, so I need cams for the V8. But I will get those in the performance shop. Don't need the cam covers. Need that. Clip B. Maybe not. But I'll need crankshaft cover, bearing, need that, need harmonic. I'll get the heads from performance shop, and I will get what else here? Exhaust performance, fuel performance, let's get a fuel tank. Don't need cap, don't need that, don't need that. Ignition wires, we'll get performance. Intake, we'll find out which one we need, but I think we will be needing this one. I think we can get that at the performance shop also. V8 oil filter, V8 oil pan, And I'll get these pistons with Conrad at the performance shop, but I will get the rings here for sure because you can't get them at the performance shop. These cars take the radiator A with housing B, fan 1, fan 2, and we'll probably need one of these. Maybe not. We'll see. We'll get in there. Okay, so let's go put on what we have already. Oh, we need pistons. So I'll go into the performance, the power boost, over to engines. So considering we're gonna get the cam here too, might as well get the alternator. V8B, V8C, V8 camshaft. So this has 4 cams, so take 4. Don't need a carburetor. Heads we'll worry about in a moment. Fuel rails. We'll need these ones, 2 of them. We'll need ignition coils, 8. V8 ignition wires. Don't think we need those. And that's the intake, I think. No, wrong one. Let's go with the pistons anyways. And there we go. Oh, forgot the piston rod caps. We gotta do that. We need those to put it together, and you could only get those in the engine main shop. Starter. Timing belts. We need 2 of these ones. We will need this. Valve rod. I think those are different. I think we need the F or the K, so we'll worry about that in a moment. Water pump pulley. I think this one might be supercharged, but I'll figure it out in a moment. Okay, so go install. You could zoom in by just tapping X if you really choose. It makes things easier to click on. Up to you. And as... oh, I don't have any rod caps. Anyways, I'll just put them all in anyways and go from there. Could always come back and put them on. Yes, there's certain points you could only touch with pistons, putting them in. It's a little bit of a pain in the ass, but you do what you gotta do wherever you can. And I find building engines from scratch, you could probably spend a good 5-10 grand on an engine easy, depending if you're putting performance parts in it or not. Just restoring it, putting all factory in, just brings the engine back to factory HP. So yeah. Rod cap, where is it? I obviously passed it earlier, and I just passed it again. So there's 8 to the dial. Now I find I personally like buying these or building these engines because they are very versatile on mods, horsepower mods. pan. So the internal side of this is done. Next on to the outside. So these ones have the big old heads on them, if I'm not mistaken. I think I sold that head, so that's not a problem. It's just a typical V8 head. And as I said, I'll get those in the performance parts. There, back up top to the heads again. And if I'm not mistaken, that's the HOV. There we go. 2 V8 heads. And some blocks have the A and B type heads, and that makes a big difference depending on what engine you're building, especially the Hemi shaker or the CUDA. And 4 cams, in they go. As you can see, I got that one lonely cam from when I ripped it apart. And that's eventually going to be getting sold anyways, because, well, it's factory. Who wants factory in here? We want some power. Lots of power. Oh, that's right. Okay, so cam gears. I need to do cam gears. Intake and cam. And, oh, let's see if the intake is here. No, HOVL. So that intake is specifically in here of parts. Let's do quick little intake search, and that's the G. That's the V8 right there. So yeah, you can see there's a few different kinds that look the same. G, that's probably for a supercharger based intake. So, And well, you could go run down the list if you choose and just do that. That's how I started out, just to find out where all the parts, how they were lined up and on the shop and what have you. And then I just recently found the search here, which makes it quite a bit quicker to go through it. And we just need the typical ones off of that. We don't need the HOV or single overhead cam or anything, because, well, this is just specific to V8. This one. And when you're done building, you could actually take your car onto the dyno and find out what you've done to it, if it worked, right? There's different levels of performance upgrades that you could do. You could typically do your 50%, which is the internal. You could go a little bit further, go external with your alternators, so on and so forth, your power steering from the performance shop. That makes a big difference also. So yeah, keep that in mind for building performance. Now, I know this engine has a whack load of rollers, but that's fine. You just buy a lot of them. And I get the exhaust, actually, in the performance shop. And I think this engine actually has performance exhaust manifolds. Let's see. Engine. manifold, and it is, I think, the H. No. No, it's this one. There we go. And like some cars, you can only get the factory exhaust manifolds for them, and aftermarket exhaust, like metal mufflers, catalytics, all that sort of stuff. Throttle V8, I need a fuel filter. Okay, so considering this needs a different, what is that? I'm running in blank right now. Fuel filter. There we go. You could get performance fuel filters, and your fuel pump that goes in the tank, get that performance also. Yeah. Pretty straightforward. I'm just looking for the V8 throttle body right now, and spark plugs. There's that V8 throttle body. And as you can see, it will add 1.65 horsepower to the engine. Head covers, clutch, all that jazz here soon. Put these plugs in. Now, one thing I messed up on when I first started the game was buying excessive amounts of parts. For example, you know, you use spark plugs all the time, or, you know, alternators, or, you know, stuff like that. Stuff that you're going to be repairing in most of the vehicles you work on. Don't buy excessive, just buy what you're going to use, because you don't really have the space to hold it while you're working on like 3 different cars. I find you can only work on like one car completely. If you strip it all down, you got maybe enough room for maybe an engine ripped apart in your inventory. So be careful about that. I've built a few of these cars, so that's why I know most of the parts. A lot of them I don't. Oh, Doc. Jeez, buddy. But anyways, that's pretty much your lowdown on how to get started in a normal mode, no tutorial, with money. So you could start building a expensive car to make your first big buck on, right? And you could actually go into the start of the game before you load in and actually check out your stats. How many cars? Oh, I got the wrong fucking head covers. Yeah. Check out your stats, how many cars you sold, what you sold them for, and so on and so forth. I like it. Which is, I think it's this one. Yes. Where is it, the other one? Well, let's just buy both of them and see. No, that's a Straddale, and that's Maserati. So yeah, I think I got the right one. now I need A, right? Yeah, go figure. And this is what I was talking about, the A-B side. It's a little confusing at times, but hey, that's how you learn, right? And yes, the Maserati parts are typically right up at top. I don't understand why. They must have got a better contract with the makers, which is almost undoubtedly true, more than likely. So yeah, well, the internal side, water pump, alternator and stuff like that. And considering these don't really need much body work, so yeah. Oh, this one does. Yeah, okay, well, let's rip that and get that done. Yes, it costs $1,000 to do every time, but you know, it's worth it. You get paid like triple, $4,000 for doing body work, so it doesn't really matter the cost on repairs. And there again, I thought it was way more detailed for doing body work in this game than what it is. I thought you could actually physically paint the car yourself instead of, you know, just direction, hit a button, it paints the car. I found that kind of weak for the game, to be honest with you. They could have done a better job with it. A few things they could have done better with, but you know, it's the first of its kind of game, and you kind of have to be a little lenient on being so judgmental on this type of car or game. Even though it did start out on PC and on Steam, but still. Most of these panels I should be able to repair. Yeah. See, the only thing you can't repair is glass, mirrors, headlights, taillights, and license plates. But you could basically repair everything else, which is good. Yeah, and as you see, the headlights stay in. I didn't take them out. So I'm just doing body panels. But you pull the doors off, the windows come out. And as you can see, I'm not going to replace the windows with these ones. I'm going to put new ones in. And it's quicker to do a search on your body panels for this car specifically because it's right at the end of the list. I found it kind of a headache, but I don't know. Just glad I found that new search menu. You know, your search menu inside the shop actually saves a lot of time. Oh, it didn't fix that panel. Oh well, I have to buy another one. See if I could repair it. I think it won't, but we'll see. Might have just skipped over it. Yeah, just skipped over it. So, yeah, perfect, see? Didn't have to spend much on that body. Gotta replace the glass, taillights, the headlights, but mine are, that's cheap compared to some of the other parts. Body shot up. Let's go the LX 50. See if that, oh sweet, that works out nice. So just pick up all the glass, the tail lights. Oh, and headlights. Now, one thing I did notice with this, you can get custom shaded headlights and taillights from the other shop, as I will show you right here. And let's go the LX 550 again. There you go. So you got different options on headlights, taillights, hoods. That's a nice hood. And bumpers too, it seems. Oh wow. That's front bumpers and rear bumpers. So let's go with rear C. Or package C. Let's go package C taillights. And package C headlights. Oh, I'm gonna pull those bumpers off. Let's see what those new ones look like. And it's just as easy as doing that. And let's see. So these are the ones that came off of it. This is the stock replacement, and this is the aftermarket replacement. So let's go with the aftermarket replacement. And the aftermarket bumper. Ooh, that looks sharp. And considering we're changing the bumper skins, we're gonna have to paint this. And we could just paint it back to factory, it's not a problem. Which will probably be done. See, and you can see the difference between the two, or the three different headlights, right? Just adds a little flare, I guess you would call it. Yeah, it actually looks a lot better than it did stock. Interesting. So let's take this and throw her in the booth. Move that. Move this into paint. And just paint her up. Let's see where she looks like after. And like I said, I'm just going to do factory. Put the livery back on. Didn't mind that. That looks 550. And what do we want to go? The white or the black? Or ghosted. Let's go ghosted. Change this out to that. Done. Okay. Actually, I like that. Yeah, it looks a lot different than Chrysler 300. But it's a nice car nonetheless. Move that to number 3, and I will save this game and do her another time. So, yeah, pretty straightforward. Considering I bought this piece of shit, I will actually probably sell it here after I rebuild the engine. And well, haven't really made much money off of it yet, but we'll rebuild it anyways. Get the suspension done, the engine done, the interior, and then I should make maybe $40,000 off of it. I'm not expecting much, but this one I'm expecting lots. And well, this one's already sitting up at 170,000, which is not bad for just doing what little I did do to it, which was absolutely nothing. So we'll see once I get it ripped apart and what have you. Obviously it needs suspension, probably some other parts, you know. And you could actually look to see what it needs doing this view. Exhaust, looks like an engine block, some brake work, some rim work. I don't know, it's pretty simple. Probably won't have to rebuild it all, but rebuild enough of it. Still make about $230,000 off of it. Maybe 240. Well, we'll see. Anyways, you guys have a good one, and I am out for now.